Before I forget, I've been using this just as a database. I have an idea. I don't know who the automobile designers are or anything like that. But where I grew up, there was a garage. You could pull your car in. Then over the years, since 1965, they've had clutter. It was all in the garage. This isn't a garage. It's a room for rent, all right? But they might think it's a garage. I don't know. It's on the second floor. Hopefully not, all right? They don't think it's in the parking garage somewhere. But I had an idea of a wash machine and dryer in the glove compartment, all right? If you know of how to, and you really do stuff like that, inventions with the car engines, like they did, I wrote it down on Facebook, but I don't know who listens to that, just the people that are listed as your friends. So I'm going to put this here on YouTube. Whether it's the right or left entrance of the motor vehicle, I thought that would be good since it's so dry out, you know, and some people, they are wealthy, you know, like really play it up for them, you know, Jennifer Lopez, Pink, Lady Gaga, you know what I mean? You know, they'll have this, what does that do? And then the average person, you know, that would say, you know, wow, if you're stuck in traffic, you know, and you don't want to sit in a laundromat or stay home or hang your clothes outside, you know, and you like to plan that your long distance is not a trailer home, you know, like, you know, you're traveling with the Boys to Men band or something like that, or Justin Bieber. It's a simple device that you would put in, not on the lap or on the center column, but really, really redesign the glove compartment. Just enough for socks and underwear. Maybe like, let's say this bra, I'm a woman, all right? A back brace, you know, I don't know, and you want to keep it sanitary or something. And then I have an overflow valve. Years ago, I have a theory before the washboard abs, and you would have a board, and you would scrub in a pail outside, you know, 100 or 200 years ago, these clothings. They're really ancient. You know how to do that. Then they said, oh, the motor vehicle is probably a real young thing. It's probably about 100 years old, a little bit 150 years old, the making of a motor vehicle and a wood bicycle. So, you know, then they said maybe took that apparatus, you know, the energy of the pump, the pump that's in the motor vehicle. And at the present time, the first wood wheel that was transferred, or at the same time around, remembering the wood stone, that you would put an axle in there of a cut tree and then use that to commute. I mean, really old transportation. But useful, in theory. Because technically, the overflow valve of the windshield wiper fluid could have been at a time, let me put my clothes in there with soap and water, and then you rinse them out, you know, if I'm traveling, and then, you know, going camping or something, and then hang them out dry. You know, I made a log cabin in the middle of the woods, and then utilize that. Now, some people, you know, they really like to travel, commute to airports and stuff like that. So if you have your little carry-on luggage with you, all right, and you commute, let's say, from the Long Island Railroad or something like that, or you have, there isn't any railroad where you are, what is the extent that you might possibly get a prototype, maybe 100 or maybe 50 or 100 cars that you could redo, and say, this has a wash machine and dryer to test it. Let's see if you are capable as an automobile designer on innovative technologies to transfer somehow the radiator overflow valve, you know, or the windshield wiper fluid somehow in a biodegradable soap that can also be used to clean the windshield. And then if you needed a laundry booster, they now sell that too. It's a little like cube, like the dishwashing cube. You know, a lot of people just commute. Now, I don't really have a lot of clothes to need dry cleaned or nothing or anything. I really don't need a large laundromat to stare at my clothes for hours on end. I don't really use it. I do wash my clothes almost practically, though, every day. You know, I'm using the sink or the shower or something like that. And it's very sanitary. So if you are in a car, you know, I had car accidents. Maybe there's some people that never had car accidents, and they really get enjoyment out of driving motor vehicles right on. It's a very nice thing. But it's also, where would you put the glove compartment that you would have? You know, for the airbag, if it's a state mandate, you could put it further back behind the area in the chassis underneath the hood engine. And then on top of that, a little tiny area where you can put your license, insurance, the title to the motor vehicles that you're driving, you know, so you have that there. Then the dryer could be there, too, on the fan belt, somehow, the air filter. And then a hose on a rotator, like the rotator cuff on your shoulder, and somehow move that, like the rocker arm separate, and don't confuse that with the axle of the wheel well, where the disc brakes, the drums are there, the hydraulic lifts and the shocks. So I thought that, I don't know who to tell that to, but I thought that was a good idea. A small compact wash machine and dryer that you could put in the motor vehicle. Now they have them, you could have it at home, put 2 gallons of water, but that's too much to me. Too much water. I think that you technically could put less than a gallon of water in there just to wash that small amount of items, the sanitary items, or even maybe like 3/4 of a gallon of water. A small amount of soap, and then in a regulated dryer. So it's homemade, it's fresh. It's really fresh. And plus, if you're waiting somewhere for somebody, for like hours and hours and hours or something, that would be nice that you would be able to do your laundry in your car, and you didn't run, you run out of gas or whatever, you're stuck on the side of the road, but you look for that on an upgrade. I mean, you might call me insane, but that, I don't know who invents those things. I see them in the mail, in the correspondences, these nifty ideas, but it recreates clutter. All right, I don't know if they, like hoarders and clutters, you could buy this for like $20 online or in the post office. Like, how can we get you back in the motor vehicle? If these are 150-year-old individuals that are no longer with us, they were around, their birth year was like 1845. All right, they are no longer with us. So they must have been homebound and elderly, before all of those innovations were created by human life. It's now the year 2019, September 15th. It's Sunday, and I did not see Olivia Downs, saying I'm going to stare at the Boost Mobile, Sprint Mobile, T-Mobile, AT&T, and saying thanks for visiting. So if she does see this, I'm still here at 57 Church Lane on the 2nd floor, a single-room occupancy. I live by myself. All right. Say hello to John and Barbara Downs, Tom and Debbie Krajewski, Stacy, Kerry, and TJ Krajewski. If they got married, divorced in 100 years, I don't know. They're still married, last I know. If they don't know their maiden name, their regular name, I'm still the same person, Chrissy Downs. Chrissy Downs Thoden, Christina Marie Downs Thoden. And I apologize, I really don't look like the television series, but I may look like the people that created some of them, that have the running credits. So I don't know where they are. That's why I say, why don't they go to Strathmore Bagels with their Karens? They interviewed me at Pennsylvania Station and asked me these questions, and I was on the news. I don't know if it was Channel 41 in Spanish again, but try to say that, this is where Tom Hanks hangs out, Strathmore Bagels over on Wisconsin Highway. You might want to up the community, because maybe there's other people that work for restaurants and stuff and really don't know who you are either. I mean, not Kirstie Alley, Shelley Long was at the bagel store in Middle Island, I think about 8 years ago, offering me gloves. And I said, why? Why are you offering me gloves? I don't know. Were they staring at me riding a bicycle in a sleet and snowstorm? I loved it without gloves. I have gloves if I need them, if I'm cold. So I don't know if where all these famous people came from, where they live. So you might want to do that, a map to the stars.